Are you looking for tips and tricks on how to step your game up in Pixel Strike 3D from a professional Pixel Strike 3D player themselves? Well, don't go anywhere, you've come to the right place. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Rush, and I've put together 10 multiplayer tips and tricks that you can use to step your game up in Pixel Strike 3D multiplayer. Without further ado, let's get started. The first tip starts where every Pixel Strike 3D player should start, the Create a Class menu. Here you can choose your primary and secondary weapon, put attachments on them, choose a melee weapon, choose a throwable piece of equipment, and even choose a perk. Now as you go along, you're going to unlock more perks and equipment and attachments as you go on. Now you're going to want to create multiple classes with different guns and different perks and stuff, just so you can prepare for that one certain map where you need that specific class. For a small map like Shipyard, you're going to want to bring an SMG, such as the TMP and the Attack SMG. But if you're playing on a bigger map like, say, Sandstorm or even Orbit, you're going to want to choose something that can cover long distances, such as snipers and even the large machine gun like the M60. Again, it depends on what map you play on and what playstyle you stick with, so experiment and put the puzzle pieces together. Another tip that you're going to want to take a good look at is your looking sensitivity. Now, messing with this sensitivity basically allows you to either look slower or look faster depending on the setting you have it on. Now, a pro tip, you don't want to have it too high to the point where your camera is uncontrollable, and you don't want it way too low to the point where this happens to you. You want to set it at a comfortable rate so you can look around and efficiently use the camera. One big mistake that new players and even players that have been playing for a long time, depending on who you are, tend to do is the lack of reloading. Now, reloading consistently is really important so that you're always ready for your next gunfight, because most of the time people will always be right behind you or around the corner, so you're always going to want to be ready. So reloading every 1 to 2 kills is really important so that you're always prepared for your gunfights. If you can't reload, however, or if you're too low on ammo, then I suggest you switch to your pistol. It's always a great option and is your last resort for whenever you're out of ammo on your primary or you can't reload in time. And besides, some of the pistols are fairly powerful in this game, so give them a try and don't be afraid to pull them out when need be. Besides reloading, there's also another thing that people tend to not do, and that's use the minimap. Using the minimap is just as important as reloading, if not more important, because it tells you where enemies are. And since not too many people run silencer in this game, it's fairly easy to find people who could be just around the corner, all by looking at the top right of your screen. Trust me on this, making good use of the minimap is going to step your game up a hell of a lot more. If you truly want to get competitive and want to step your game up even further, one thing you can do besides adjust your look sensitivity is memorize and learn the maps inside and out. The only way to do this, however, is through repetition. So just be patient, play through all the maps, get used to the feel, get used to the maps themselves, know where people are coming from, know the choke points, know where people like to go, and then you will be able to take advantage of every single part of that map. I cannot stress this part enough, but one thing you're going to want to do is use those iron sights and aim down sight. Now, while it may be obvious to some players, aiming down sight will increase your accuracy a hell of a lot more than if you were to just hip fire. And if you really want to lower that recoil and hit more of your targets, I recommend putting on an optic, such as the red dot sight. Hell, if you want to go the extra mile, put a foregrip on it. Go for headshots while you can. While this also may be a relatively obvious fact to most of the players, going for headshots not only increases the damage done to your opponent, but it also increases the amount of XP you get. However, I would suggest going for headshots whenever you can go for headshots, and not on every single person. Speaking of gunfights, one tip I recommend you take a good look at is the gunfights you pick and the people you are contending against. Now, of course, you're not going to want to use an SMG against a sniper from across the map. That's a guaranteed loss for you. Instead, what you're going to want to do is pick gunfights that you will either be able to contend with or easily win. And if you want to be able to easily win those gunfights, you should use a gun depending on the situation. For example, if you're at medium to long range, using an assault rifle or sniper is a better option. But if you're at close range, hip firing with an SMG won't hurt a bit. If you truly want to get competitive, and this tip may be apparent to some of you, but my final tip for you is playing your way and experimenting with everything. Now, getting used to the game on your own is a great way to get a feel for it and to get good at it, because you're getting used to the game, you're getting used to all this stuff that I listed earlier, and you're also learning different stuff and experimenting with different things that you may not used. And this in turn will make you a better player over time. I hope these tips and tricks help you step your game up and unchain yourself and play better than ever before. So what are you waiting for, soldier? Get out there and take some names. It's your boy Rusher, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. Peace.